Hi there everyone. Right, well today I'm going to be working in the conservatory, which is starting to fill up very nicely, and I'm going to be sowing some white seeds for my white garden because obviously I haven't sown enough white seeds. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I'm creating a white garden at the back of my house. It's a very small space. I started seeds off in the autumn. So I've got two types of antirrhinum. I've got some foxgloves. I've got Ami majors. What else have I got? On white lupins. And they're all doing really well in the greenhouse. But I'll take the camera off the tripod and I'll show you the space and my thinking behind sowing yet more seeds. But most of these are annuals, whereas the others are perennial. So we'll just step over the heucheras here. Right, so that is the small space out the back of my house, which where I'm creating a white garden. I don't know whether you can tell how saturated everything is from the fields. It's just a quagmire out there. Very cold and wet today. But I'm really pleased with the way the white garden's developing. There's lots of bulbs in there. And it's a bit of a standing joke in our family that I have no spatial awareness. And I didn't realise how true that was until I look at the size of this space, this tiny space. And then I think of all the white plants that I've bought and all the white seeds that I've sown. You'd think, looking in my greenhouse, that I must have a couple of acres to fill. Anyway, more to give away. But anyway, my thinking is that I need some annuals to give it that or va-va-voom straight away this year. And to sort of shout out, I am a white garden. So I mentioned in a previous video that I have very little success with cosmos. I find it really hard to get it to germinate, which I think is unusual. And then it doesn't seem to like my garden. And I think maybe it's because my garden's very, very shady. So I'm going to try this one, which is Cosmos Double Dutch White. And that looks really pretty. So you get 30 seeds per packet. So I bought 3 packets because I thought 30 plants for the back, 30 for the side garden and 30 for the front. And, you know, I'll have plants to give to my sisters and friends. So when I've read the instructions on the Cosmos, it says that you can direct sow it. So I'm going to hedge my bets. So I'm going to direct sow some out there, and then I'm going to plant 2 packets in my seed trays. The other thing I'm going to plant is cornflower, the bride, and again this does say sow outside, and I don't usually direct sow into my garden because it's so full of plants that I don't have little beds where I can put seedlings and see them come up. They just would get lost normally. But because this is a new bit of garden and I can sort of keep my eye on it, I could sow that direct. So I think I will. The only thing I don't understand, and you may be able to enlighten me, is it says direct sow because they don't like root disturbance. But then partway down, it says when large enough to handle the seedlings, thin them out to 12 inches apart. Well, if they don't like their roots disturbed, how do they survive when you do that? Would it not be better to sow them in a seed tray? Anyway, I'm going to direct sow those. The other plant I've got is Aquilegia Lime Sorbet. So that's beautiful. I'm going to sow that. a packet of Gora. I love Gora. Haven't even heard of this plant before. Physotegia. Dazzling spikes of white flowers. So that looks really bunny. I'm going to plant some of that, sow some of that. I am going to sow some more Antirrhinum Royal Bride, purely because, well, A, I got the seeds for nothing in my magazine. I have grown the Royal Bride before. It's very reliable, very tall. And the two lots of Antirrhinums that I have sown are really doing well. One is called Apple Blossom, and I've got hundreds of that. I think I've got about 100% success rate with that one. And the other one, I forget the name, White Admiral, I think. And that was very poor germination on that one. And then every year I say, I'm not going to grow this again because it's just so high maintenance, but I just love the flower. And it's Cleome, and this one is white, and it's Helen Campbell. So the reason I say it's high maintenance is because you must provide it with fluctuating temperatures. So it likes to be on heat, but then on the night time you have to put the seed tray outside so that the temperatures plummet. And the temperatures here in the northeast of England at the moment, we've never got above 10 degrees yet, and it's the 11th of March today. So on a night time, I think it dips below freezing quite often in the morning. When I get up, the roof lines will be white, you know, we'll have had a frost. So apparently that's what Cleome's like. Sporadic germination. So everything screams, don't touch me with a barge pole, I'm too high maintenance, but the flower is spectacular. So I am going to try that again. Right, so if you've seen my other videos where I've been sowing seeds, you'll know that I don't use any soil-based compost, no seed compost for them. I sow my seeds in pure vermiculite. So these two containers here are the vermiculite that I used in the autumn to sow seeds. So these ones were Antirrhinum White Admiral, the ones where I had very poor germination. And these ones were the Verbena Snowy Spires. So I have got quite a lot of them. I think I got about a dozen, but the rest of them didn't germinate. So you know what? I'm going to use this vermiculite in these trays. I use it again. I do this every year, and it's not like your soil, which I would never use that again for seedlings, in case there were any sort of fungal spores in or anything like that. The vermiculite, I have no problem with it. I can see there's a few tiny little seedlings there. Right, I'm just going to put that in. And because my garden is very cottage gardeny, I'll be absolutely delighted if I get a few more verbascum coming up in this seed tray along with my cosmos or whatever I choose to put in it. So although the bags are quite expensive, I think this size bag was about $7.99. You can just use it again and again. I know there'll be lots of gardeners out there saying, shouting, no, you shouldn't do that. But I always do. It's very economical. So I'm going to fill my seed trays up. Fill this little one up as well. And these are quite large seed trays. So what I'll do is I'll probably half them. I'll probably put a drill down the middle like that and plant some of the seeds on one half and some on the other. Now I think what I'm going to do in the seed tray where I put the old vermiculite as well, I think I'm going to put the cosmos in there because I know what the cosmos leaf looks like when it comes up, so I'll be able to recognize that. And then anything else is a very welcome interloper. Well, I'll be able to guess what that is. So here goes with the cosmos. I really hope it works this year, because one of the borders in that new white garden is south facing, so hopefully they'll like that. They're quite large. You know, I think they would have been all right if I'd grown them individually in the modules, you know. So I've positioned the seeds out. I'm going to put Antirrhinum in that half, Aquilegia in this half, the Physotegia in this half, the Gora there, and I'm going to use this whole tray here for the cosmos. So I'm going to sow 2 packets indoors on a heat mat, and the 1 packet outside direct sown, and we'll see which ones do best. Cosmos Helen Campbell. Right, the next one is the Cleome. I'm going to put the Cleome in this little one here, this little seed tray here, and then that's easier just to, well, it's just by itself, so I can just keep putting that in and out every night, in every morning. And in the past, as I say, I haven't had brilliant success with these, so out of every packet, I think I've only over the years ever grown 2 Cleome. But the one that grew last year was beautiful. Right, so that's that one. The Antirrhinum Royal Bride. You know, I'll nurture these Aquilegia, and yet they grow, they just self-seed around my garden. I've got some beautiful varieties. Hopefully they'll all come up again this year, and I'll be able to show you them. Then the Gora. Never grown this before. Oh, nice big seeds. Lovely. Physotegia. Right, so you'll notice over here on my heated mat, I've got loads of heuchera cuttings that I took a few weeks ago. I did loads of basil cuttings from my heucheras. So they have been basking in the warmth here, but they're ready to come off the heated mat now and go onto the cold floor of the conservatory. Sometimes I'll put them on the carpet first for a week and then put them onto the floor. But the temperatures should start picking up shortly, surely. So yes, I'll take these all off, and then I'm going to put water in this tray and put this whole tray onto the heated mat. So I'll just put the little heucheras along here for the moment. I've got heucheras and I've got geranium cuttings. I love this time of the year in the conservatory when it starts filling up with all the baby plants. before it's time for the house plants to come in, and then it just gets ridiculously overcrowded. Right, so I'll put, I've got lots of room, so I can have those seed trays on there, and there's also room to put some of these heucheras back on. Anyway, we shall see. Right, so I've got a nice container of tepid water here, and I'm filling the tray with it. Well, not right to the top, but a decent amount. And that's the good thing about the vermiculite. It changes colour. It goes this orangey colour. You can see it's starting to soak the water up here. And then when it's all this orangey colour, you know that the vermiculite's saturated. Right, the other thing to do is I've checked the labels, and the Antirrhinum Royal Bride and the Physotigia, you haven't got to cover that seed. But the other seeds, so the Aquilegia and the Gora and the Cleome, you do need to cover, but very, very lightly. I don't know why you have to sprinkle over the top if it says do not exclude light, but anyway, we'll do as we're told. There we go. So there we go. This has been a lovely little project to do on this cold, rainy afternoon. So I'll keep you updated. One thing I would mention, if you are starting your seeds off on a heated mat and you've never done it before, you'll be surprised how quickly the compost or your vermiculite or whatever medium you're growing it in dries out. So you do have to be really observant, and because obviously that's the kiss of death, isn't it, if you let your seedlings dry out or your compost. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you are sowing any seeds, good luck with yours, and I'll see you next time. Bye. So I really have to give you this update on the Cosmos seeds because I kid you not, they germinated in 2 days. So these seedlings here, just get down low, they must be about, I don't know, 3-4 centimeters tall. They are 4 days old. I don't know why this one's lying over, but yes, so from finding it really difficult to get Cosmos seeds to germinate on the heated mat, 2 days. So my thinking is that they didn't really need to be put on a heated mat. They would have germinated just as quickly on a sunny windowsill or something. So yes, you definitely don't need a heated mat to germinate your seeds this time of year. They're just raring to go. Having said that, we'll have a look at the other ones. So the other ones I've covered with cloches, and I've checked them this morning already. There's nothing happening in these ones, but then I'd be very surprised in 4 days if they had started to germinate. So yes, with these little ones, I'm going to pot these up today into individual pots, and we shall see. Maybe this year I will actually get some Cosmos in my garden.